Welcome to Huawei's integration course. With this video, we are aiming to teach you how to integrate your Unity games into Huawei ecosystem. I am Mustafa Can, working as developer advocate on Huawei mobile services. In this video series, we are going to explain these topics, such as getting started, explanation of our game, introduction to Huawei mobile services, how to integrate Unity HMS plugin, and lastly, how to monetize your game. Let's start with part 1, getting started. What we are aiming to do. We developed a game and we are going to use this game while integrating HMS Unity PLugin 2.0. We will briefly introduce the game and we will cover game service, account kit, ads, in-app purchases and remote configuration integrations. And lastly, we will teach you how to release your game and monetize with in-app purchases and ads. Let's move with explanation of our game. The first screenshot from the left belongs to the main screen of the game. We can start the game by pressing play button. I signed with my Huawei ID, so the game is saluting me and knows who I am. In the second screenshot is my first move. There are bombs flickering and we need to pass the tiles while they are not shown. If we colored every tile in the screen, we can finish the level and get to the next one. In the third screenshot is the situation where I failed. As you can see, game is over and I can start from the beginning or continue the level that I failed. But if you click continue, you need to watch a rewarded ad. In the fourth screenshot, you can see how the rewarded ad will be shown. Our game has a simple mechanic, which is swipe. User can go 4 directions with swiping their finger, which makes our character to go end of the direction. Character cannot pause and evolve, and each cells will be colored on the road after character passes. There are some bombs in the way for creating some challenge, and they are flickering with time. To win, user must color every colorable tile while not stepping an active bomb. These are the notes that we took while coding this project. Player has simple 4-direction movement, which are up, down, left and right. Color every tile that player moved on. Check if the player colored every colorable tile in the level. If player succeeds, show ads and start next level. Player cannot go past walls or out of the game field. Track users' playtime and level success time in order to have analytics and leaderboards. Users can disable ads from the Disable Ads button in the menu. Our next part is Introduction to Huawei Mobile Services. Huawei Mobile Services are the core environments for developing a game or an app. Services provides us features like pushing messages to our users, getting their game data, changing our game remotely, saluting our players with their names and more. HMS Core offers a rich array of open device and cloud capabilities, which facilitate efficient development, fast growth, and flexible monetization. There are lots of ways to integrate Huawei mobile services, such as using Unity plugin, which made by Huawei developers with open source community, Unity distribution portal, HMS services from Unity Asset Store, manual integration which you will develop to bridge. In order to solve our ecosystem developers' problems faster, we developed a plugin that uses Huawei mobile services and we made it open source in order to strong communication and ease the support channels. Let's start with HMS Unity Plugin Introduction. But first, what is Unity HMS Plugin? HMS Plugin is a tool which is helping us to call HMS core services via Unity. It's like a middle layer to invoke HMS Java packages. Developed and maintained by Huawei developers and community. So if you want to report a problem or develop a feature, you can contribute too. You can use lots of HMS features such as game service, account kit, interstitial rewarded and banner ads, in-app purchases, analytics, and more. Here you can see the plugin workflow. You will code the HMS X controller in this flow, and they will call HMS X managers to call Huawei mobile service functions. As you can see in the EG part, we will call HMS Ads manager from our controller, and we will call show banner ad function to call our banner ad. Let's start integrating our game to App Gallery. If we need to talk briefly about the steps, we can talk about these topics. First, we need to do simple steps, such as registering to App Gallery, downloading HMS Unity plugin, downloading a G-Connect services.json from App Gallery, enabling kits from Unity using Huawei section on the top bar. Lastly, modifying your scripts to use these kits in your game. As a note, I can say that about the kits. They will appear on the scene when you enable them, but don't hesitate about them. They will work on other scenes too, because they are using singleton pattern and don't destroy on load implementation. So let's start integrating with account kit. After you enable the account kit, you can use these functions. Sign-in function is for normal sign-in operation. This function will open the dialog and asks for ID and passport from the user. Silent sign-in function will do the same thing that sign-in function does, but it will not open a dialog if user already signs in before. Sign-in drive function will sign the user for drive activities, and this will grant you to use drive rights. Lastly, sign-out function will sign out the player. Firstly, we need to open HMS settings from Huawei top bar. Then activate the account kit. You will see the manager is created on the scene. If we disable it in the future, it will delete it automatically. Let's code our game manager in order to use account kit functions. We will need to add HMS plugin libraries to use account kit functions. Now we can call HMS account manager.instance.signin method to start signing in. Kit managers are using singleton pattern. We will need two callbacks functions in order to track the result of signing, success and failed callbacks. Sign-in success method will return us an out account object. We can get display name from this object, for example. These are the other variables of the auth account. Sign-in failed method will return us an HMS exception. We can get message or return code from this exception. After you enable the in-app purchase, you can use these functions. Check IIP availability. This function will call the success callback if the environment is ready. Buy product. We need to set a product ID, a boolean for do we consume after buying, and a payload. Function will call the success callback if the purchase completed. Restore purchases. This function will restore the products that user bought. Obtain own purchases. This function gets the own purchases of the user already bought. Function will call success callback if the obtaining is completed. Consume purchase. This function will consume the given product for the user and calls the success callback if the consume is completed. First, we need to open Huawei settings from top bar, then enable the EIP section. A new EIP tab will be shown after we enable it. You can enter the product's identifier that you will get from App Gallery Connect and select the product type, then click Add. After that, we need to click Create Constant Classes in order to call our products easily, because this button will create a class called HMS EIP Constants, then adds our product as a variable. If we click the Initialize on Start, then our product will be fetched when our game is started. We will call the purchase when the user clicks the No ADS button in the menu. We will go to the on-click event of the button, then initiate the transaction. We will call the buy product method with our product identifier. This method will open the window for player to buy this product. We need to listen this method's callbacks in order to understand the transaction result. We are calling on buy product success and failure methods. Success method will return a purchase result info object. We can use this object to check transaction status. We are hiding the main menu while we are calling the transaction. We can define a variable called isOwned to check if the user owns that product. And lastly, we can decide the add situation according to this variable. After you enable the ads kit, you can use these functions. Load all ads. This function will load all the ads and let them wait for your call. Load ad. This function will load a banner, interstitial or rewarded ad that we have given. You can use as example in the slide. Show ad. This function will show the given banner, interstitial or rewarded ad. You can use as example in the slide. Hide banner ad. This function will hide the banner ad that we have given. Destroy banner ad. This function will destroy the banner ad that we have given. Lastly, don't forget to check Use Test Ads in the HMS settings. if you want to use ads in test mode.
First, we need to open kit settings from Huawei top bar and enable the ads. After that, new ads tab will be created. We need to enable the ad types that we want to use. You can check how to add an ad unit from developer.huawei.com, Huawei Ads Publisher service. If you want to test your ads, you can check the Use Test Ads button. This way your ad's going to use static test IDs. Lastly, if you want to use banner ads from the start of the game, you need to check the Show Banner on Load. Let's get to the coding phase. Let's open the Maze Game Manager. We want to show ads after end of every level. We will create a function for checking is level completed. We will move our isOwned if check to this function because it's related with ad showing. Then we will call show in interstitial ad from HMS Ads Manager. It is that simple to show ads. Lastly, we will hide our banner ads in case player buys the remove ads in a purchase.
After you enable the game service, you can use these functions. Get player info. This function gets the basic information about the player. Don't forget to add your leaderboards and achievements IDs that you take from App Gallery Connect. As a note, don't forget to set callbacks for sign-in success because Game Manager uses the sign-in function automatically if you select Initialize on Start in the HMS settings. After you enable the game service, you can use these functions for leaderboards. Submit score. This function will submit the score that we have give to the player. Show leaderboards. This function will display us all the leaderboards as a list. After you enable the game service, you can use these functions for achievements. Unlock achievement. This function will unlock the given achievement for the player. Reveal achievement. This function will reveal an achievement that we give. Show achievements. This function will display all achievements as a list. Increase step achievement. This function will increment an achievement process in order to unlock it.
Firstly, we need to open kit settings from Huawei top bar and enable the game service. Game service is dependent on to account kit, so it will be enabled too. Then we need to give the name and ID of the leaderboard or achievement we want to add. Then we need to click Create Constant Class button to create our in-project variables. We need to click Initialize on Start if we want to gather information from Cloud on Game Start. Then we can continue with coding phase. Sign-in functions will be executed inside of game service, as you can see. We need to delete account kit sign-in functions in order to use game services sign-in functions. You can see the leaderboard manager and achievements manager in the game manager game object. We can create a variable like score and we can get the user's score in it. After that we can push this score as player's score to the leaderboard as example. We can see the other functions of leaderboard manager. If user clicks the leaderboard button in the menu, this will call our onLeaderboard click function. We will call setUser scores shown on leaderboards and show leaderboards function in order to show them. Let's call the achievement functions too, for example. With increased step achievement, we can increase our achievements unlock process as we like. When user clicks the achievements button, will trigger on achievements click and we will show the achievements list here.
Remote configuration of App Gallery Connect allows you to change the behavior and appearance of the app online without requiring users to update the app. With the service, you can provide tailored experience for your users in a timely manner. You can call the Fetch API to fetch parameter values from the cloud in asynchronous mode. After the API is successfully called, the data of the config values types is returned from the cloud. Call the Apply API to make the parameter values take effect. To add default values, there are two different ways to set default configs, with XML file and with dictionaries. For XML file, you can use apply default method with path parameter. We can create constant class for reaching our remote config parameters easily. Enabling developer mode will grant us unlimited number of times fetching data from remote configuration, while the traffic control is performed over the cloud.
Firstly, we will open kit settings from Huawei top bar, but remote configuration depends on Analytics kit, so it will enable too. From the Remote Config tab, we can set our kname and kvalue that we created from App Gallery Connect. We want to change our path color to red, for example. If we click Apply Default Value button, then our values are defined as default. Then we enable the developer mode because we want to test it. Let's get to the coding phase. First of all, we need to activate our listeners. We need a success and failure method for onFetch method. Failure method will give us an HMS exception parameter, and the success method will give us a config values parameter. After we get the values from the server, we can apply it to our game. We need to code our fetch method to fetch our changes. Normally, fetch method will fetch every 12 hours, but we can specify it while giving a parameter. Let's create a variable for path color that we pull from remote config. Then we will get the path color from remote config. We can gather other types of values too, as you can see from the remote config manager file.
Let's talk about the monetizing your game. Monetize your game in HMS ecosystem. We have two options to monetize our game, EIP and ad services. Firstly, in-app purchases provides convenient in-app payment experience, which helps you boost your monetization. Secondly, Huawei Ads Kit leverages Huawei devices and Huawei's extensive data capabilities to provide you the publisher service, helping you monetize traffic. Ads Kit allows you to implement personalized ads. It integrates with third-party ad platforms, which allows you to track conversations and traffic while not violating privacy requirements. Each user has a unique encrypted open advertising identifier. Technical information for monetization. Huawei provides detailed analytics about revenue. Huawei's EIP cut is less than other competitors. If you want to track your game's monetization, you can use the formulas in below. I want to share the ads workflow for monetization. You need to register a Huawei ID, verify your identity, and enable the merchant service before integrating Huawei Ads Publisher service. After that, create your app, sign the Huawei Ads Publisher service agreement, add your app, add an ad unit, perform the tests with dedicated test IDs, release the app. For a commercial release, you should release the app that uses the formal ad ID to Huawei App Gallery. After the release, you will need to apply for monetization acceptance from Ads Publisher service. Huawei Developers provides reports for app services. You can sign into Huawei Developers Console, go to Developer Center, My Reports, and use these reports to optimize products. Payment report section will give us detailed information about payment details, coupon details, and more. This report provides in-app payment details, including payments and refunds. Set the search criteria, include a period to show specified report data. Click Download to initiate a download task for all in-app payment data generated in that period. Viewing reports. Sign into Huawei Ads Publisher Console. On the dashboard page, view revenue data and the other metrics. Revenue. You can check estimated revenue yesterday, estimated revenue in last 7 days, estimated revenue this month, and total revenue. Data chart. Displays data by country, ad format, app, ad unit name, or date range. You can combine these dimensions. The maximum date range is the last 1 year. You can view the number of ad requests, number of returned ads, number of impressions. My reports to view the reports based on the filter criteria. Once you have specified dimensions you want your report to include, click Download Report to export it. Thank you for listening this course. If you have any more questions, you can reach us from gamingteam@huawei.com.